Hey there fellow Dragonborn, Chedu Gudisis here with another Caedo's Countdowns. This countdown will be going over the often overlooked shields of the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. Instead of damage, they'll be ranked by their armor values, and those with the highest armor value will be at the top. And this countdown is not just to show them off, it is to show you where to find them as well. So let's begin with the 5 most sword-stopping, bandit backhanding, dragon-denying unique shields in the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. We start with the Dawnguard Rune Shield. You can hazard a guess how to get this, but stats are the first thing. The base armor of the Dawnguard Rune Shield is 27, and due to this being a powerful unique relic meant for fighting vampires, it gains an extra 10 bash damage against vampires, and a sustained block will create a minor sun shield that will deal 10 points of hit point damage per second over time while it is draining the wielder's stamina. If you find yourself often jumping into melee combat with vampires and have a trusty one-hander to pair along with the Dawnguard Rune Shield, the additional damage is nothing but beneficial, while blocking or bashing. Unfortunately, a lot of the shield-based attacks and moves are also tied to stamina, and you would only be able to regenerate it by use of potions or items, or simply dropping your shield, leaving you wide open to attack. Having a weapon in your main hand that absorbs stamina, and generally just having a decent stamina pool would help greatly in this case. But overall, the stamina drain should be the main thing you consider when choosing to use the Dawnguard Rune Shield. By appearance, all you need to upgrade the Dawnguard Rune Shield is a steel ingot and the advanced armors perk, because it does fall under the steel armor category. Since it does contain an enchantment too, you also need arcane blacksmith, but after that point, you can throw some pretty nice upgrades onto it. Now on where to get it. It's through the Dawnguard, of course. After you've taken some time taking part in the Dawnguard questline and returning to Fort Dawnguard with the Moth Priest, approach Serene Gerard and she will recommend that you find Florentius to add to the ranks of Dawnguard, but you have to run it by Ysgramor first. Do so and find Florentius, bring him back to Fort Dawnguard, and he will add to the pile of quests that you can take part in that are based around the wonderful Radiant system. These Radiant quests will cycle between members of the Dawnguard, but the one you are looking for is through Florentius, called Lost Relic. There are 3 potential relics you can get through this quest. One of them is the Dawnguard Rune Shield. In previous countdowns, when I talk about the Radiant quests like these ones, I highly recommend saving outside of Fort Dawnguard before you go inside to turn in whatever you're turning in. Because sometimes, like in my case, it could send you to a place in a different DLC, and I didn't want to go to Bloodskull Barrow yet. So that's something I advise keeping in mind too. If you don't mind either way, that's no problem. It's still going to require a bit of patience though, getting the right quest from Florentius. Next up is the Shield of Ysgramor, the First Harbinger. This large, heavy armor circular shield has a base armor rating of 30. Even though Ysgramor's shield has a unique look to it, it doesn't necessarily have a unique enchantment, but it does come with 2 enchantments automatically. If you wanted something like this otherwise, you would have to max out your enchanting to get 2 effects. The first enchantment increases magic resistance by 20%, the second increases the user's health by 20 points. The magic resistant enchantment alone makes it something worth getting early on, but later you may want to consider replacing the Shield of Ysgramor because unfortunately you cannot upgrade it at a workbench. Still, having 20% magic resistance just from your shield is wonderful, and after you're done using it, it looks great on a mantle. So onward to where to collect it. Let's play word association. I'll say Ysgramor, you say... No, it's not beacons, it's the companions, man! So partnering up with the companions is essential to getting the Shield of Ysgramor. In order to obtain this heavy shield, you will need to progress through the entirety of the companions' questline, helping them collect all of the fragments of Uthrad, and the main arc eventually coming to an end during Glory of the Dead. That is the point where you go to the tomb of none other than Ysgramor himself. In the final room of Ysgramor's tomb, there is a chest at the top of the wood ramp. Within this chest lies the Shield of Ysgramor. Solitude is my favorite place to go when I want to be told not to shout by the wonderful guards there. You may notice that the guards of Solitude have a cool looking shield with a wolf emblazoned on it, and there is a unique version of the Solitude Guard shield called the Shield of Solitude. It's not super original by name, but it makes up for it with its enchantment. The Shield of Solitude comes with a base armor rating of 32. This shield is leveled loot, so you'll get the best benefits from the shield if you get it at level 40+. The maximum bonuses of these enchantments are increased magic resistance by 30% and block effectiveness by 35%. I don't think it's taking much of a risk by saying the best quality of the Shield of Solitude is in its enchantment, and it can be disenchanted to learn this improved version of magic resist. The Shield of Solitude will hold up pretty well over the course of your playthrough, even if you choose not to take the enchantment off of it. And despite it not being upgradable at a workbench, just like the Shield of Ysgramor, you still have that block 35% of damage enchantment as well. However, you extra effectors out there will be able to stack this magic resist enchantment and the regular one on a single piece of gear. Meaning if you enchant both magic resist enchantments onto a shield and a ring, or ring and an amulet, or shield and an amulet, you'll be pretty close to immune to magic. And isn't that the warrior's dream? So now on to finding it. Oh no, where would we find the Shield of Solitude? While the general location in which you get the Shield of Solitude is pretty obvious, the process might not be. When you show up in Solitude, you'll want to go to the Blue Palace if you're going for the shield. Falk Firebeard, if you approach him, will give you the quest, The Man Who Cried Wolf. At first, he sends you to Wolfskull Cave to take care of some ne'er-do-wells, and after you do and return, you both think, oh, thanks for the money, this is all over, don't have to worry about it. But then, a few days later, Falk will send a courier to the Dragonborn to say, uh-oh, there may have been a problem in that last cave I sent you to. I need your help again, Dragon Bro. I'm paraphrasing. Return to Falk Firebeard, and he will begin the quest for you called The Wolf Queen Awakened. This quest takes place in the Catacombs of Solitude, which is pretty interesting of a location, and nice to not have to travel all over Skyrim. It's just under the city, making it a completely safe foundation to build on. Do what you must in taking care of the threat of the Wolf Queen, and Falk Firebeard rewards you with the Shield of Solitude. We have another entry that happens to be Dawnguard, a little further into the story, called Auriel's Shield. This uniquely elven shield has a base armor of 32, and alongside its one-of-a-kind appearance, it also has a one-of-a-kind enchantment. When the user blocks with Auriel's Shield, it stores energy from the enemy's strikes. At 5 strikes, it will stagger enemies when you perform a power bash. At 10 strikes, it will be an even stronger stagger effect. And after absorbing 15 strikes, Auriel's Shield gains the force of Unrelenting Force at its maximum strength, and power bashing will subsequently knock enemies over. There is a visual indicator for the amount of hits that Auriel's Shield is receiving, indicating a flash from every 5 and getting brighter as the charges increase. I'm pretty sure there isn't a duration for these charges either, as long as you keep the shield equipped, but it does expel the charges when you use the Power Bash move. Having another means to stagger and knock down enemies is a great addition to anyone's arsenal, especially anybody wielding a shield. Sometimes you need space, you need the enemies to get out of your personal bubble, and Auriel's Shield will let you do that. Auriel's Shield is upgradable at a workbench as well if you have a refined moonstone, and falls under Elven Smithing if you want to improve it past Flawless. And I should mention that Arcane Blacksmith is required if you want to upgrade it too, because it is enchanted. I'm sure pairing it with Wind Shear would make it really ridiculous. But anyway, let's go to the location of this thing. Once you get to, say, the 3rd act, I want to call it the 3rd act of the Dawnguard expansion, you end up in a region called the Forgotten Vale, which is a beautiful but contained separate zone on the Skyrim map. It shows you as being in the northwestern corner, but of course there's not much for landmarks or fast travel points there. The whole point of going to the Forgotten Vale in the first place is to get to Auriel's Temple, and that is what you will need to do first, because you're going to need the Ruby Paragon to reach Auriel's Shield. After arriving at Auriel's Temple, you will have a ceremonial ewer in hand, I hope, and on your first left there is a blocked off gateway with a pedestal right in front of it, upon which you can place the ewer to gain access. And this short hallway will lead you to a frost giant. Kill this frost giant and on its body will be the Ruby Paragon. Once you have it, you'll need to find the Paragon platform if you haven't already. This is just east of the Way Shrine of Resolution, towards the waterfalls of the glacial area of the Forgotten Vale. Go up to the Paragon platform, insert the Ruby Paragon, and you can take the resulting Paragon portal to the Forgotten Vale Forest. Don't worry, we're getting to the actual thing. Within this forest is a Falmer Warmonger equipped with Auriel's Shield. Obviously, you will have to defeat the Warmonger. There are a couple of frost trolls in the area too, so you could allow them to soften him up a little bit if need be. But after the Falmer Warmonger is slain, Auriel's shield is yours. Before getting to the cream of the crop when it comes to unique shields, I felt like this one was worth mentioning, and that would be the Aetherial Shield. I could be thinking wrong here, by the way. But anyway, this was just below the Dawnguard Rune Shield when it came to base armor, which is 26. This is a unique shield though, visually, by name, and also by enchantment. And I think internally, I just wanted it to be good. I want it to be good, but that doesn't necessarily make it so. Upon a bash attack with the Aetherial Shield, enemies struck will become ethereal for 15 seconds, making them unable to attack or be attacked. This bash attack also has a fear effect that goes alongside it, and most enemies that are bashed with the Aetherial Shield will flee while they are in ethereal form. Now, ways in which you can use this to your advantage, I can't really think of any. The closest I came to an actual breakthrough was using noisy one-handers alongside the Aetherial Shield while stealthed. I could sneak attack one enemy, shield bash the other, walk away, hide in the shadows while they're fleeing, wait till they come back, and then sneak attack them afterwards. But that is a lot of extra steps and a lot of extra waiting just to take out a couple of enemies. It may be a form of effective crowd control if you are fighting multiple melee enemies at a time. Any of the Skyrim Civil War related quests could receive some kind of benefit from this shield, but there is a variety of other things in Skyrim that will do this more efficiently. So if you've worked the Aetherial Shield into one of your character builds and you've found an effective use for it, please share in the comments. I actually do want to know viable strategies, if there are any, with the Aetherial Shield, or if it's just an unfortunate, this is kind of neat and gimmicky, but it doesn't really do anything helpful when it comes to executing a fight. One more plus though, it is upgradable at a workbench with Arcane Blacksmith and a Dwarven Metal Ingot. Dwarven Smithing does not affect it for some reason, so it has that going for it too, and it'll match your Dwarven armor set if that's the route you're going. But this is an omission for a reason. I just figured it was worth mentioning. Let's go over where to get it really quick though. Alongside the entirety of the Dawnguard questline, you have the Aetherium Wars quest thingy that goes on too. If you find a book in any of the Dawnguard locations called Aetherium Wars, you can start the quest Lost to the Ages. This takes you to a Dwemer ruin known as Archingthoms, where you meet the ghostly Catria to find rare pieces of Aetherium and ultimately forge something out of it. At the climax of this quest, you get the decision on what to forge with the Aetherium you found. The Aetherial Crown, Aetherial Shield, or the Aetherial Staff. The Aetherial Crown is what I go with most of the time because it allows you to copy a standing stone so you can have two active at once while you're wearing it. But naturally you have to make a choice between these three items. We have arrived at the bestest, blockiest shield, this unique shield in the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, and it goes by the name Spellbreaker. Spellbreaker is a historical artifact, and also, according to Skyrim's achievements, a Daedric one. It's a heavy shield with a base armor of 38. This surpasses even the standard Daedric shield's base armor, which is 36. So it has protection. What else does it have? It creates a magic ward when you block. Instead of taking the magic resistance route, this will potentially negate incoming spells as long as it has time to charge up. The ward itself still can break when magic surpasses the damage it can take, and does wonderfully against sustained spell attacks like Dragon's Breath and the Sparks and Flames spells. I found the Spellbreaker most enjoyable myself when I gained Shield Charge, letting me simply run into mages and knock them over, and them not being able to do anything about it. And the icing on the cake of the Spellbreaker is that it can be upgraded at a workbench by using a Dwarven Metal Ingot and having Arcane Blacksmith. But note that it is not affected by material upgrade perks. The Spellbreaker does what its name says, break spells, gives you an opening to bash and smack away at that caster's health bar. So onward to how to get the Spellbreaker. The Daedric Prince, Periite, rewards the Dragonborn with this artifact, but the first part is the communion with said Daedric Prince. In the Reach, northeast of Markarth in the mountains, is the Shrine to Periite. If you are at level 10, you can approach the Khajiit Kesh the Clean, who is tending to the shrine, and he will ask for materials in order to make you an incense for the trip, as it were. Kesh will require a Deathbell flower, a flawless ruby, a silver ingot, and Vampire Dust. The Deathbell Flower and Vampire Dust are relatively easy. You can go into Markarth to the Hag's Cure and get them there. For the Flawless Ruby and Silver Ingot though, I would advise checking out the mines near and around Markarth, the village of Karthwaston specifically, because there you can mine silver and you have the chance of getting precious jewels in the process. Once you have all these things, return to Kesh, commune with Periite. The Daedric Prince will send you to Bethardums to take care of followers that have lost their way. And they're living with a horrible affliction anyway, you're putting them out of their misery. Take out the leader or Chendor, return to Periite Shrine, and you will receive the Spellbreaker. And that is the strongest unique shields in the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. I'd like to hear from you what you consider to be your best shield in the game. Leave a comment. I'd also love to hear suggestions for countdowns in the future. I'm kind of running out of steam for my revisit to Skyrim. This is my third one. So countdown ideas for other games are welcome as well. Thanks to my supporters on screen. Thanks to Wasteland Legends Sven. And if you want to be awesome like them, you can head on over to the Patreon and pledge as little as $1 to help keep this channel running. Thank you so very much for watching. I'm Caedo Genesis, and may you wander Tamriel like you own it.